Welcome to Genic. In today's video, we're going to explore something truly life-changing, the secret to happiness. We often believe that happiness depends on what happens around us. But what if I told you that true happiness comes from within? This is the story of a wise old woman who taught an entire village a powerful lesson about finding joy in every situation, no matter how difficult life gets. By the end of this story, you'll discover how to change your mindset, find happiness even in tough times, and truly live a more peaceful and content life. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this beautiful story. The wise old lady in the village. Once upon a time, in a small and peaceful village, there lived an old woman who was known for her kindness, wisdom, and an unshakable sense of happiness. No matter what happened, whether it was a good day or a bad one, she always carried a gentle smile on her face. The villagers loved her dearly. People from all around would visit her, seeking advice, comfort, or simply a few words of wisdom. She always had the right things to say, and somehow, after talking to her, people felt lighter, as if their worries had melted away. One day, a young man from the village, struggling with problems in his life, approached the old woman with a burning question. The young man's question. "Grandmother," he said, "I have been watching you for years. No matter what happens, you always seem happy and peaceful. You never seem sad or troubled. Don't you ever feel bad when things go wrong?" The old lady looked at him with warmth in her eyes and smiled. "My dear," she said gently, "life is full of ups and downs. Some days bring us joy, while others bring pain. But I have learned something very important. Happiness does not come from what happens to us. It comes from within us." The young man furrowed his brows in confusion. "I don't understand," he admitted. "How can someone be happy when bad things happen?" The old lady nodded, understanding his doubt. "Let me tell you a story," she said, "a story from my own life. The painful past of the wise woman." The old lady took a deep breath and began. "When I was young, I had a beautiful life. I had a loving husband and wonderful children. We were not rich, but we were happy. We had everything we needed: love, laughter, and a simple but fulfilling life. But then," she continued, her eyes distant, "one day my husband fell ill. We didn't have enough money for his medicine. We tried everything, but nothing worked. In the end, I lost him. It was the saddest day of my life. I cried for days, for months. I thought I would never smile again." The young man listened intently as she spoke. He could see the deep emotions in her face, even though she still carried that same peaceful smile. A life-changing realization. The old lady continued, "For a long time, I let grief consume me. My world felt empty. But then one day I realized something. No amount of sadness could bring my husband back. My children still needed me. I had a choice. I could live the rest of my life drowning in sorrow, or I could choose to find happiness again." The young man's eyes widened. "But how?" he asked. "How do you choose to be happy when your heart is broken?" The old lady smiled. "I changed the way I looked at life. The power of a new perspective. Every morning when I wake up," she explained, "I tell myself, today is a new day. I will find something to be happy about. Some days it's easier. Maybe the sun is shining beautifully, or maybe a flower has bloomed in my garden. Other days it's harder, but even then, I look for something. Maybe it's the sound of children laughing, or the kindness of a stranger. No matter what, I always find something." The young man sat in silence, absorbing her words. "What about the worst days?" After a moment, he asked, "But what if something really bad happens? What if everything feels hopeless? How do you stay happy then?" The old lady's expression softened. "It's not always easy, my dear," she admitted, But do you know what I tell myself during the worst times? She leaned in and whispered, "This too shall pass." The young man looked at her with curiosity. "No matter how dark the night," she explained, "the sun always rises again. Nothing in life is permanent. The pain, the sorrow, the hardships, they will pass. But if we let them steal our happiness, we waste the precious time we have. So instead of focusing on what I have lost, I focus on what I still have. My health, my friends, my memories, the simple gift of being alive. Happiness is a choice." The young man sat quietly, deep in thought. Finally, he smiled and said, "Thank you. I think I understand now." The old lady nodded. Happiness is a choice, my dear. You can focus on the bad things and be sad. The young man left her house that day with a new perspective. Be happy. He decided to follow her advice, but to wake up every morning and find one thing to be happy about. At first, it was difficult, but little by little, he began to notice the small joys in life. Over time, he realized that his life had become brighter and more peaceful, just like the old lady's. The wisdom spreads. The story of the wise old woman and her secret to happiness spread throughout the village. More and more people began to understand that happiness is not about what you have or what happens to you. It's about how you choose to see life. And so, the village became a happier place. Not because problems disappeared, but because people learned how to find joy despite them. All thanks to one wise woman who taught them the secret of true happiness. Your happiness is in your hands. Life is full of challenges, struggles, and unexpected losses. But no matter what happens, we always have a choice. We can choose to focus on what we have, not what we've lost. We can choose to find beauty in small things. We can choose to remind ourselves that this too shall pass. And most importantly, we can choose to be happy. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. What makes you happy? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more inspiring stories that will change your perspective on life. Stay positive, stay grateful, and keep moving forward.